Well, good morning. We're going to do this beautiful autumn scene. There's beautiful orange trees and really wonderful. Don't get to use this colors too many times, you know, it's just a wonderful time to use bright, striking colors. All right, so what are we looking at here? A little bit in the background. There's a gate here that we'd like to get in so we don't paint over it. It's just two posts that will help us. Not sure where it goes, but it's there, so maybe we'll put it in just to break up those big shape of the trees and so forth. So do a little sketch of it. Keep your sketch very loose here. We're not trying to do too much. We're just going to place those, and then there's a bunch of rocks here. You know, just the important thing is to keep them different. Don't do all the same shapes. Some bigger and some sharper. You know. Then there's the big orange tree that we want. That's really important. And keep a little bit. You know, don't keep it on a straight diagonal, so some of it goes up, and there's the tree, dark tree on the left. Nice, you know, these bulk, you know, these big round shapes are wonderful on the tree here. Each one represents a branch. All right, so there's that shape. Make sure you leave plenty of holes here. That's what I'm putting in just to remind me of the holes. And okay, I will start with some cobalt blue in the sky, and down below I think I'll put a little bit of I'm covering that big hole with blue, but on the bottom of the sky put a little bit of cobalt blue teal. It's a little brighter color, looks more like a morning sky. Okay, yeah, so we'll get that in, let that come down. I just added a little bit of raw sienna to that blue sky, that was the blue color we had, and that was the ground in the background, and then a little raw sienna into the trees there. But I'm going to paint the big tree here with some Aurelian yellow and touches of cad yellow. I'm just mixing them together, letting that, I want a nice bright yellow base to this tree. So I'm starting with this big shape of yellow. Make sure you save plenty of holes. We're going to fill those in later, but for now we're just, okay, I'm dropping some cad orange, very weak. I don't want it to be too opaque. So it's very weak, but I'm dropping it on top of the yellow, which is going to give us a nice base later. We're going to lift some of this off to create texture, okay? So just cover the shape, give it a chance to come down. While it's coming down, I'm mixing up some cad orange and Windsor green. It's a very opaque mix, nice and dark. That's going to be that tree on the left. And I'm breaking into the yellow, but we'll do more later. We'll get some nice edges in there. It's a good example of how the edges are used. You know, how this dark warm tree comes in front of the yellow tree, you know, the yellow orange tree. So, all right, so I'm dropping more orange. Okay, we're putting another layer of orange. You know, it's a constant putting it on, taking it off, but give it a chance to come down, give it a chance to set in, let that color sink into your paper, and then just take a towel. Take a towel to create some texture. I'm just filling in this dark orange green color. I just popping the orange on, and it's going over the yellow. You can see that, and you know there's a lot less light on the left side of that tree, so I want to get that in there, giving it a chance to come down. See that orange is rolling right over the yellow, which is just what we want to do. Putting a little more orange in the green here, building that out while the other, while the yellow tree is setting up. But I'm taking a towel here and just lifting off, especially on the edge there. It's a lot of light hitting that edge. So just really, and just tapping it, not every spot, just crumple up your, crunch up your towel so you get some nice texture, it gives you a nice sense of the leaves and the, see how bright that yellow is now underneath. That's why we put it on there, that beautiful Aurelian yellow and cad yellow mixed. Okay, so we'll just go all over everything with that towel, creating some texture in all the trees. All right, so what I'm doing here is I added some rose to the yellow-orange mix, so you can see it's a nice deep orangey red. And I'm going around the holes with that. That's where the light is not getting in there. It's inside the tree. So you're going to constantly build that. Let it run down. Touch it with a towel if you think it's too much. Okay, don't worry about these two trees together. We're going to separate them in a few minutes. But right now we just want to get this color in there. Still running over that yellow, Beautiful. I've just taken a credit card and scratching out some rocks here. Just squeegee it out, squeegee, just push the paint aside. Don't dig into your paper here. All right, I'm going back in with the towel as it sets up. It gets, it's holding on to the paint and it's running less and less. You can see how nice and bright that is, So I'm adding some of that rich color again. That's the rose mixed with the orange and yellow. Nice deep warm color inside. That's where no light is getting in there. Keep it nice and warm. Just working on the shape of that yellow-orange tree. Okay. All these dark colors, it creates form, and that's what we want to do. Create form around each of these branches and the bundle of leaves there. So creating that nice round shapes. All right, just keep doing this and keep a towel in your hand. If it looks like it's getting out of control, just go back in. A little bit on the edge here and there. A little darker in there, less light on the left side of that tree, so you want to get that a little darker. Definitely more darker on the base, on the base of that tree. So you can see how rich that's getting, Just drop it on. If it's too much, just take a towel and touch it, create some more texture. All right, so that's it. You just keep putting it on, taking it off. All right, there's a road in front here. I just put some ultramarine into that mix of rose and yellow and get this gray. You can drop some orange right in front of the tree where the reflection, that would be reflecting. I just putting some raw sienna on these posts and all that, blending them right into the painting. All right, we got this beautiful tree on the right. This is that deep rose red orange. But I'm starting with the black here. This is not quite black, but it's ultramarine and quinceanna. But I added rose to it as well. It's hard to see here in the video, but there's a lot of rose in there. And I'm basically putting in the gesture of the tree, the shape, you know, just where the big branches are going. And then right on top of that, black, I'm going to add here we go with the red-orange, deep rose red-orange color. And just working just work that shape of the tree. This is a beautiful tree. And notice how that dark rose red goes back, comes forward and pushes that yellow tree back. Put some orange in there. Just keep working it and shaping it until you get what you want. But it's beautiful because it really comes forward, and really put plenty of paint on, less water, nice and rich. This is your chance to use this beautiful color that you don't often get a chance to use. Wonderful. Just keep going and shaping it. So you just want to design this tree and work it, get the gesture in first, and then put the details, a little bit, shrubbery growing here and there, and just get the shape that you want, then pop some branches in. Beautiful color, beautiful chance to use some rich, beautiful color, and see how it jumps out in front of that orange tree, and pushes the orange tree back at the same time. So it's beautiful to have them both working, the red one and the green one on the other side. So, all right, just putting some of that, some branches sticking out, and take your time and make it beautiful. All right, I'm just filling in the base under these rocks. There's just it's part of the same dead leaves and grass and, that whole thing that's growing. So, and I'm just bringing it up to the rocks and kind of shaping the rocks around it, putting some shadow on. And okay, yeah, get that in. That's a nice dark line. That same stuff is growing all along that wall and around that gate, and, right onto putting some dark shadows in on the rocks themselves, Then it's going to pick up the reflection of the orange as well. Okay, yeah, it's a nice shadow coming from that bush. It's very close to the rocks. I'm putting a little shadow on the posts. You really want to mute those down so you don't want them to be too important. All right, going back into the big green tree and putting some orange color on there. Working these edges. Here's where we work those dark edges of that tree and bring it over in front of the orange tree, so that orange tree is setting back, picking up more light in the background. And you see I added some rose to that color. So that's the green and rose, and I push the rose more. Now I'm adding orange. It's very opaque, and it's not the way I like to paint. I like to get the transparency working, but in a situation like this, that opaque color is working really well. So, just pushing it here and there where the tree is picking up more light, it gets a little more brighter. All right, and then that whole shape, you want that whole shape to sort of read together, not too much, not a bunch of jumping details, but, All right, I'm going into that orange tree a little more. You can see that rich, warm color helping to shape those branches. Popping in some pigeons, birds flying by, you know, just making it a little bit more interesting. All right, there's a tree, and in the photo there's a tree in front of this bush, but I'm going to put this tree behind the bush instead. So these are just, you know, branches that, you know, from small tree that lost all their leaves, and it's down behind this beautiful red bush. So we just let these branches go up into the sky and go behind the tree. You know, just keep working it. Okay. All right. I really love doing this. This is, you don't often get a chance to use these beautiful, rich colors like this. So it's really wonderful. I hope you liked it, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.